I'm gonna talk to you about binder-free compaction and how you can improve your competitiveness or you can foster your sustainable economy. But the first question is, what am I doing here? That's the first thing I asked myself. Well, what am I doing? I'm here to explain you, to present you this unique and innovative way of compacting things, okay? Why are we doing that? Well, we have already advanced in different things, and I'm looking to accelerate and to deploy faster our technology. That's why I'm trying to meet and prospect with different people. And the other reason is that the experience has shown us that success comes from binding the expertise of people from one part of a process with people from the other part. So alone, just on the compacting part, we can't do anything if we don't have real partners in other fields. Who are we? Well, basically, we are a bit more than a startup, but we are an SME. It's an SME of 50 million euros, and we are focused on one technology and one type of products. The type of product you all know, I guess, are those little tablets you put in your automatic dishwashing. This is what we call a tablet. Now, this tablet is produced via a technology which we call rotary press, and that's what we are developing for plenty of different applications. What is unique within Eurotab, it is what I would call a fully integrated type of company, which means we are on one side developing product, developing processes, but when that's done, we're also designing and building the equipment. So we can offer a full technical package to our customers, or rather to our partners. And then on the other side, we are also a producer of finished products. One part enriching the other part is that we have 4 factories where we produce tablets, but are in the what I would call home and laundry care. This company has always been focused on innovation. That's why we spend, it's not a lot in absolute term. It's between 3.5 and 4 million euros per year, but relative to the sales, it's pretty intensive spendings. We are used also to patent a lot of the things. We sold plenty of presses and products. This is a French company, but that has always been looking for international things. Now, I'm there to try, I've been hired some time ago because I'm coming from fast-moving consumer goods, nothing to do with your businesses, but I've been hired to try to diversify this company. And what I'm used to do is to try to understand a market, to try to understand an environment. And what we realize is that there are a lot of finds in this world. There are something like about over 11 million tons of finds or byproducts that are just thrown away in the metallurgy industry. Same for industrial minerals, where you have about 10 million as well. And basically all those contain valuable materials that nobody is trying really to valorize or to use. Why is that? Basically nobody has proposed so far a technology which is efficient to do that. We try to understand why it would not be okay and what we should do. So what we have developed is something that enables to convert a powder into something solid without using any binder. A binder for me is something you use just for the sake of making a shape, but that has no other benefits, no advantage, doesn't bring any added value to your next step of your process. So we don't use binder, which is no money and no energy afterwards, which means also no curing time, which means the tablet can be used straight away after. Either you can be sold or re-injected immediately in a furnace, for instance. Okay? We have done it with high throughput equipment, and it's cheaper than the other technology. If you want to know what I'm talking about, here it is. This is an example of salt, and this is an example of aluminium. So this is our type of things. Those are done without any additive or anything. So we can do that with byproducts, like slags, dross, dust from the steel, and so on. And we can then, or refractories, we are using powders. We are not using blocks, we are using powders. That can be very fine. And we convert those powders into something solid through a system which is just applying pressure. We fill a cavity, apply a pressure, eject, and here you have your tablet. And we do that at a very high speed because we go up to 4,000 tablets per minute, which means it's quite impressive in terms of the speed. You don't see the tablet passing. We have equipments that go between 10 and 45,000 tons for this type of thing. Now, basically, by applying that, you can improve your competitiveness, you can develop better your sustainable economy as well, by valorizing some of your byproducts or some of the fines that are issued from quarries, from mines, or from wherever. We have done some studies with some steel manufacturers. Basically, if they recycle everything in the electric arc furnace, or at least 95%, they can make a saving of 3 euros per ton of steel in Europe. Believe me, a steel maker, I don't know whether there are some in the room here, but for 3 euros per ton, they kill their mother. Now, what else can you do with this thing? Well, basically, if you put together ingredients that are solids, you can increase the speed of reactivity. You can also improve the kinetic by liberating the right ingredient at the right place at the right moment. You can do micro-alloying because you make small things, so you don't need to prepare huge batches. You can just prepare it in advance and put nickel, chrome, or whatever at the right moment. You can tailor the things. This technology is also used for making catalysts. So you can play with the size, with the shape, with the porosity, and so on. And last, obviously, if you recycle things, if you use the fines, you improve the balance of your quarries or for your mines. Now, where do we stand with that? Well, we have some experience with industrial people. The first one is that the product is not in the market. Unfortunately, I can't tell you with whom we did it, but it's one of the world leaders in industrial minerals. So we built a prototype for them in terms of equipment. We produced almost 5,000 tons, it's much more than 3,000, and they were used in the steel industry to find out whether the things was working. As I said, we have also a technical economical study that was conducted with electric arc furnace company, and as I already told you, they estimated that they can save up to 3 euros per ton per year, per ton of steel, sorry. We are currently also working with a refractory company. Again, sorry, I can't tell you who it is, except that it is the biggest one in the world. So you can imagine where it is and which one it is. They have a raw material which they get in their products. They have a lot of fines. They cannot recycle those fines. Today, they have to pay 190 euro to get rid of this material. By using this technology, they can reinject everything, which means that basically they are earning each year between 500 and 600,000 euro just by recycling their own raw material. What do we have? Well, basically, I need just 1 or 2 kilos of a powder to be able to tell you whether it's going to work, how much it's going to cost, and what could be the input. We have a pilot where we can do a few tons, so application trials can be conducted, and we have equipments already available that are doing up to 10,000 tons per year. And you're more than welcome to join us to try to develop this technology, and if you have some questions, I'm there to answer. Tell me. Well, this is not a press in the sense of removing water. So it's depending on the type of water. If it is bonded water, like for instance in calcium chloride with 2 dehydrated, no problem. Otherwise, if it contains a little bit of water, 5 to 10%, it's okay. But it's not a filter press. So I cannot put 20 or 30% because when I put pressure on, the water goes everywhere. Thank you.